Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel for another exciting episode of Hunting the Fish podcast. Today we are going to do another adventure because this is my spring and summer series, and last week we decided to do the village of Deposit. This week we're actually going to do a place that is, for lack of a better term, much closer to home. Today we are going to talk about the village of Owego. The village of Owego is a village situated in Tioga County. It was settled in 1784, and it was incorporated in 1827, April 4th, 1827. Which means we're coming up on our bicentennial. Interesting. I just realized that. As of the 2020 census, the village of Owego had a population of 3,864 people. And I am very proud to say that I am one of those people. And I have been for the last 5 years. My journey to Owego started long before I moved here, when my brother moved here in 2015. He would periodically come down, or over the years I would find a way down here to see him. And I didn't get around the village very much, so I was particularly limited to the places that I went. November of 2019, September of 2019, I had an incident where I was basically forced to leave the residence that I was at, and for the time being, and decided that it was time for some change. I made some phone calls and did some research over the next 2 months, and I actually found a 1-bedroom apartment down here in Owego that was within my price range. I established myself with a job, and pretty much been here ever since. I have told my fiance I do not plan on leaving Owego if I can help it. Just because of the fact that being as Owego is such a small village, it has just enough for a small family like ours. It has a couple grocery stores. It has lots of local shops. Obviously, it has your regular local amenities, such as the DMV, Village Hall, numerous parks. Believe it or not, for a village that's only 2.7 square miles, I'm pretty sure this place has more parks in it than most bigger cities. Pretty sure there's at least 7 parks just within the village of Owego lines. Like I said, we got all your normal stuff out here in Owego. We got the florist. Of course, I said the parks. We've got little convenience stores. I think we have like 4 gas stations within the village. We have, we actually have a museum, a movie theater, and we also have a town square pretty much dedicated to the courthouse. We also have our very own river walk. It's not very large, obviously because it is a small town. But we have, being as it is a river walk, it basically affords the residents a chance to, on nicer days like today, it allows us to get out and enjoy the nice weather without having to sit home. Being the history buff that I am, I did mention the museum that we have. It is one of my favorite places to visit, and truth be told, if it was open today, I probably would be going over there, but unfortunately it is not. The museum is closed on Sunday, but it is open Tuesday through Saturday. Within the village itself, as I mentioned, a couple of the things that we also have a wide variety of restaurants. We have 2 pizza places. We have 2 diners. We have your normal, everyday places. Believe it or not, we have a Dunkin' Donuts in Owego, which is very convenient because it's actually right around the corner from my house. It's within like a 5-minute walk, on a good day. We have, like I mentioned, we have a lot of local businesses. We have a lot of craft and antique shops, you could call them. And aside from the museum, which is historic in its own right, we also have a lot of history within the village itself, ranging from, I guess you could call them historical landmarks to historical dwellings. As a matter of fact, coming up here on my left, we have the former Parker residence, the former residence of father and son John M. Parker, who is a justice of the Supreme Court, and his son Charles Parker, who is also a justice of the Supreme Court. And we also have their namesake road, Parker's Lane, which I believe back when, Owego was a little bit younger, we'll say, didn't go all the way back to Main Street. I believe it was just a private road for the residents, and that was the extent of it. Now, as weird as this sounds to say, even though Owego is only 2.8 miles long, like I said, we have a lot here. There's so much to do when it's nice out that it's very hard for somebody like me to want to stay home. especially in a place like this. For those of you that are familiar with the area, we actually have a section, Rivers Greenway, and I'll show you it right here. This is the Owego segment, and we have listed here 3 of the 7 parks in Owego. We have Agua Park, Brick Pond, and Hickory's Park. And down here, it shows you some of the, should say shops and, the features of Owego. Right here, we have the Tioga County Courthouse and the Court Street Bridge, which is actually right over there. Beautiful. We have the Owego River Walk, which is actually right here that we're gonna walk down. We have an aerial view of the village of Owego, very beautiful. We have one of the shops in Owego. I'm not sure which one this is, but I'm pretty sure that shop is no longer in existence. Actually, you know what? That is Fuddy Duddy's. We have a local animal of the county, the great blue heron. Believe it or not, I have seen 2 of those. Tried to get a picture of it, that didn't work. Annual events, we have the Tioga County Fair, which I have been to every year. We have a shot of the village of Owego, which is actually right down that way. And then down here, my favorite part is we have the Owego Heritage. We have quite a bit of, like I said, we have quite a bit of history in Owego. Not only from, like the older times where obviously the settlers came and the Iroquois, first made their land here, but also just because of what used to be here. On that 2 Rivers Greenway banner, they actually mention that Owego used to be home to an EJ shoe factory, which I did not know until recently. And if you look around here at what the village looks like now, you don't think that there was ever a factory here. But there was. And it's very amazing. I'm gonna pan out and see some of the sights around here. I don't know if you guys can see really well, but let me know if you can't. Up there in the distance, I have no idea what settlement that is, but it is actually part of the village of Owego. That's actually one of the, what do I want to call it? One of the small neighborhoods that are in the area, and it's quiet. Definitely quiet, which for a village is understandable, because most villages, being as they are smaller than towns, they don't particularly attract too much attention. However, Owego, being as the type of village that it is, we like attracting attention. And I was actually talking to somebody yesterday that I consider a grandparent, and he basically told me that Owego is the type of place that we want people to come to it, even if they are only here for visiting, or if they decide to move here. I mean, that's pretty much what brought me here is, you know, I started out as a visitor, and then quickly I became a resident. I want to give you a quick view of the Susquehanna River. During the summertime, this river is actually very, very low when the temperatures, you know, get higher during like June, July, and early August. And being as we are right on the river, that does have its pros and cons. This river walk down here that we're going to walk down in a couple minutes has experienced its fair share of flooding. And Owego, as a village, also experienced its fair share of flooding. For those of you that remember the floods of 2011 and 2012, Owego was actually one of the most, one of the hardest hit villages in the southern tier because of its close proximity to the river. I actually, over that period of time, I was living in Deposit, and I actually wasn't affected by the flooding of 11 or 12. The flooding of 11 more so because I was still in Shenango Forks, but the flooding of 2012, I had just moved to Deposit when it happened, but I wasn't actually affected by it because it had already passed. Owego experienced quite a bit of damage to the village in 2011 and 2012. Like I said, due to the close proximity of the river. And whenever we get a significant amount of rain, luckily, over the last 12 years, they have implemented different procedures so that flooding like that does not happen again. And it's kind of worked a little bit, but not so much. Occasionally, when we have those torrentious downpours, we still get some minor flooding. Down here on the Riverwalk, actually get from about down here to the bridge, does still flood, and Hickory's Park does accrue some significant amounts of water. We, as a village, though, just get through it, and we go on about with our lives. Now, I mentioned a couple of minutes ago that Owego is a very historic area. Owego is actually one of the few places that I know of that actually has its own historic street, which after we get off here the Riverwalk, we will take a trip down and show you guys those sites. It is called Lake Street, and it is pretty much your I guess you could say it's pretty much our business district. It's where most of our shops are, and most of our, I wouldn't say entertainment, but it's pretty much downtown Owego, and it's pretty much where most of the excitement happens. Now, the one thing that I did not mention about Owego, amongst other things, is that we actually have a few, a few regular events in the village. I mentioned the Tioga County Fair that happens every July. We also have the Strawberry Festival, which is a reoccurring event that happens every summer. And it basically attracts thousands of people over, I think, like a 3-day period. And we also have some of the local businesses have shops that, or some of the local businesses have events that, kind of do stuff on a regular basis.
That went more high. Look it. Halfway through the river right now.
If you would give me $20, I'll jump right in there.
So, we actually have, like I said, some of the local places hold events throughout the year, and just a way to attract business and population, to the area. Not spectacular, but it kind of works because people come from everywhere and just come down and see what's going on. Like I said, our Riverwalk isn't the largest. Obviously the Broome County Riverwalk is 3 times this size, but it kind of walks by some of the businesses that are up here on Front Street, and a lot of those businesses that are up there on the hill actually have, during the warmer weather, they have outdoor seating, so that you can get your meal or whatever you're getting, and you can actually sit out on the deck and enjoy what you're doing, whether it be a drink, a sandwich, or whatever. Couple kids riding around on their bikes. Another good thing about the area, at least something that I feel is very important to a small town like this. I wouldn't say it's very important, but it's something that you wouldn't expect for a small village. But behind me, we have the Black Cat Gallery and Gift Shop. Pretty much a little, I wouldn't say it's a little antique store, but it's basically a gift store. Local, handmade stuff. You can see in there, they got like picture frames, local art, dresses, knickknacks and stuff like that. I've been, over the 5 years that I've lived here, I've been to a lot of these places on numerous occasions, and let me tell you, it's never a dull moment. What I was saying is one of the things that I find, interesting about the area is there is quite a few bars out here. Now, I'm not a drinker. I gave up drinking about 5 years ago. One of the most famous is the on Barleycorn. Very popular place. It's known as a tavern, but obviously they do sell alcoholic beverages, so you have to be 21. Good thing I'm older than that. But they have some normal bar hours, 12 to 2, 2 to 1, 3 to 2, 3 to 1. They're one of the places around here that has live entertainment. Let's see if I can show you inside. They have live entertainment. Obviously they have TVs, bar. They actually have a gentleman here who I'm very familiar with that make obviously, and they have a kitchen downstairs that you can cook in, or not that you can cook in, but you can get food in on top of getting your drinks. And they have, like I said, they have live entertainment I think it's every other weekend. So that's definitely a thing. Over the corner is the Owego Elks Lodge and Emporium. Basically a marketplace where you can go to, obviously the Elks Lodge is the meeting place for the local people that are members of the lodge. And they host an Emporium, I think 2 Sundays out of the month, where they have vendors come in and basically sell their or at least try to sell their merchandise. We also have quite a few banks in town. The only one that's local in the village is M&T. We also have Chemung Canal, but like I said, we have a lot of antique shops. This is a place called Front Street Vintage. I still have yet to go in here, but basically they're a more local antique shop, and they sell old dishes, records, a lot of historical stuff that has to do with the village. Oh, what's this place? Kalash Kitchen. Oh, that must be what is it? Whatchamacallit? I'll have to try that out sometime. Oh, Greek gyro? Never mind. Over the last few years, we've actually had a lot of new places come to Owego. As the saying goes, out with the old, in with the new. This Kalash Kitchen that's here is one of those places. Used to be Los Taquitos, or however you say that, and they actually went out of business, I think, last summer. And this new place came in. Maybe I'll give it a shot sometime. Not much of a fan of Greek food, but it doesn't hurt to try new stuff. Speaking of new stuff, behind me we got Scrappy's is it workshop or wood shop? Workshop. They do like local wood products. Very, very beautiful place. Custom woodworking, bath and shower products, homemade home furnishings. If I ever strike it rich someday, I will definitely, give my money to some of the businesses in the area. We got a Pilates studio, which obviously is only by appointment. We have the visitor center, which I don't think is open today, and it is not. The visitor center is it's a Tioga County visitor center, so it's not limited to Owego, but it covers all the other areas of Tioga County. Over here we have the old Melora. I'm not sure why there is 2 arcade games in there, but I don't think they're putting anything in here anytime soon. We have a real estate office, who I actually am going to be getting a hold of at some point once I become rich and inquire about getting a house. Over here behind me we have the Cellar Restaurant. In 5 years that I've been here, I haven't ate there once, but I hear their food is really awesome. Unfortunately, it is quite expensive. But I have marked this place down on my to-do list in order to at least try it at least once, because I'm the type of person that I like to try a place at least once to see if it is actually for me. Down here, also on my left, we have a place called the Left Bank. They are actually closed for spring break, and they will not be open until April 14th. They sell antiques, vintage lace, estate jewelry, romantic French, and shabby Czech decor. I've been in here once, and I think it was shortly after I moved in to the village. This place is beautiful, let me tell you. All of these shops down here, even if you are the type of person like me who does nothing but window shop because you're broke, it's it's a nice place to go. We got the Tri-Town Insurance Agency, another real estate and insurance company. Over here, right, we have the River Row Bookshop. Very, very fascinating place. I, once upon a time, used to read, and for the life of me, I just can't get into it, back into it like I used to. I pretty much, gave up reading just because I don't have the time, the focus, or anything like that to keep with it. Last year I had made a New Year's resolution to continue working, and that actually, it was the only New Year's resolution that I failed on. Here on standing in front of me, we have the Lily Style Loft women's clothing boutique. As I understand, this place is up for lease. I'm not sure what's happening with the business itself. I don't think I've ever been in here, but if I have, it was back when I first moved down here to the area, and I haven't been there since. Obviously it's a ladies' clothing store, so I don't have any reason to go in there. Up here we have Katie's Creations, established in 2002. Another gift store and antique place. Like I said, we have a ton of these. I mean, Owego is pretty much gift shop, antique shop, gift shop, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. We have a place here called Wild Root Studio that was actually established 3 years ago. Obviously, I've never been to it. Pretty sure it's an art studio, but I don't really have an artistic ability, so I don't think I'd ever go to something like that. On the side of the street, we have a place called Huggy Home. I've been in there 3 times. The place is beautiful. Another craft store, stuff like that. We have a custom framing shop. Again, never been there, would love to though. We have the Owego Penny Saver, which obviously is your local news thing, and events stuff. Another financial place, insurance and whatnot. Let's see. We have a couple places down here. I'm pretty sure they're being worked on. Of course, we have the future location of Fuddy Duddy's, which they haven't said when they're going to be coming in, but sometime this year, I hope. We have the Tioga County Arts Council over on the right side. We have Carol's Coffee Bar, a barber shop, the Goat Boy Owego Home, which is pretty much home furnishing, interior design, staging, fine art, photography. Yeah, just so much down here, and it's weird because, like I said, it's such a small town but at the same time, there's so much. Places to go, things to do. Unfortunately, if you're not very financially set, it is kind of boring around here, but we as residents, we tend to make the best of it. I mentioned a few minutes ago that over the years, there has been places coming in and out, and I also mentioned like the importance of, the history of some of these places, and there's been quite a few changes, not just within the time that I've been here, but over the 100 or so years in the village, since the village has been around. The alley back there behind me, to my left, was actually the site of a fire back in 1865, and it actually consumed a lot of the buildings that were on Front Street, and they all needed to be renovated, and it was devastating, to say the least. Over here, we have the Tioga County Court Annex building and the clerk's office. And behind me is actually the Tioga County Courthouse. Beautiful building. Beautiful. If I could meet the person that built that, I would probably shake their hand and tell them they did a great job. This courthouse is a very historic piece of equipment because it is the old Owego Academy for the very first schoolhouse built in Owego in 1797. As much of a history buff as I am, I've always had a knack for history. And as soon as I moved to Owego, I noticed that there was a lot of buildings. I'm not sure how I noticed this, but there's a lot of buildings that look like they could have been schools at one time. And this building being one of them, I did my research and found out that I was right. Here, as I mentioned earlier, we have our Owego, we have our court square, as they call it. Very, very beautiful. We got a pavilion where people actually, thank you. People actually just come up here and they literally don't do anything. They literally just come here and enjoy the view of the city. Look at this area. This isn't considered a park, but I would consider it a park. This gazebo is quite a few years old, and like I said, people just come here to just hang out and enjoy the sights of the area. Across the street here in front of me is the old sheriff's house and the old jail from a long time ago. And I'm not sure when this ceased being a jail, but this was discontinued as a jail when they built the Tioga County Jail just outside of town. I think it was within the last 25 years that they built it. Pretty sure there's a sign or something that says it was within, like, I think it was like 2000 something that the jail ceased operation. Here I want to show you this absolutely beautiful fountain. Normally there is water in it. Not sure why there isn't today. Maybe because they haven't turned it on yet for the season. But this fountain as a gentleman on the top of it. And according to the sign over here, it is called the Baker Fireman, and it is honoring Fire Chief George H. Baker, killed in a 1913 accident, and all of the Owego firefighters. And it was erected August 26th of 1914. So this fountain was actually renovated within the last 3 years. It used to be all bronze, a very ugly green, and they actually changed it to all black. I think in the summer of 2022 they redid it. Yeah, they do a lot of preservation around here for you know, to keep the area updated and looking like it should. Down here we have, off in the distance, we have a CVS, and we also have a Walgreens, and we also have the Wine Connection, which is pretty much the local liquor store, which unfortunately, like I said, I can't anymore, so that place would never come in handy to me. Over here on my left, we have a place called Up the Creek, which is a consignment boutique. The place is very nice. I've been in there a couple times. I have bought stuff from there. Amazing, amazing people, and they know very well how to attract people to their establishment. Coming up on in front of me here, we have a place called Courtyard Gifts, fine jewelry and unique gifts, which I guess is cliche. Very, very small store. I have been in there twice. Very cramped, you know, to walk around in, but it's kind of, you know, for the best because it's smaller space. Here we have a place called The Foundation, which was established in 2021. Apparently it's up for lease already, so they must not be making the most money. I believe I've been in here once, and I'm not sure what they do. They might be another craft store, they might not be. But they got like home decor in here in the window, and they got like arts and crafts stuff. Basically, you know, like a craft store and gift shop. Let's see what else we got over here. This is supposed to be a place called The Lounge in Owego. Not sure what it is, but by the looks of it, it is going to be a hangout spot. Maybe with like a diner type deal, or not diner type deal, you know, just like a hangout, you know, eatery place, which, being as Owego has a lot of those, not sure if that's necessary, but to each their own, I guess. Over here we have the Tioga County Public Defender's Office, which I hope I never have to go to. Very nice to have right here in town for the people who need it and don't have like reliable transportation. Over there we have another view of the old jailhouse. It was built in 1882, which is a long time ago, almost 200 years. Next to that we have the Leahy Saddlemeyer building, which is actually dedicated to two gentlemen who were very instrumental in the founding of the services of Owego. And they, I'm pretty sure one of them was a town clerk, the other one was a town supervisor. Over here on my left we have another antique store. This one is called This and That, It is antique shop that I have been to quite a few times. I am very familiar with the owner. She is a very, very sweet woman, and she is looking to retire very shortly. So I'm not sure if she's going to be in the antique business for much longer. Down here we have an old, we actually have a building that is the backside of, I'm pretty sure the backside of the antique place. The owner actually told me that they are supposed to be taking this half of the building and expanding it into this storefront and putting a store in here, but I haven't seen any progress on it. Actually, it's listed for rent. Available January 2024. It's a prime location, 1,300 square feet, 2 large display windows. Same building restoration. So it's open for rent in case anybody wants to put a shop in here. Over here we have a place that I still have not gone to called Coffee Bar Roasted. Very unique name for a place. Again, it is pretty much a little, I guess you could say it's like a little diner. It's a coffee bar. Go in here, get donuts, pastries, coffee. They opened up last year. They have this place, as I said, was just renovated not too long ago. Very beautiful inside. I love the work that they did with it. Still have yet to go there, but it's on my to-do list also. I'm not a drinker of coffee, so I'd probably only go there for the pastries. They have a place over here called La Bella Ray. It's a bridal boutique. They're only open by appointment. Hopefully I'm only getting married once, so I may not ever need to go to that place. Over here we have another new place that just opened earlier last year called Baking by Numbers. They're actually closed now because they are only open in the morning. Obviously they are a baked goods store, and they do like breakfast pastries. They probably do like coffee and stuff and things like that. Again, another place that I still haven't been, but it is on my to-do list. Down here we have one of our local salons called the Platinum Beauty and Lash Bar, and it is actually a place that I have been 3 times because I have my hair done. The ladies that work there are fascinating, very professional, very good at their job, and very very friendly, we will say. Over here we have a place called Anything Artistic. Obviously they do artistic stuff: signs, banners, printing, t-shirts, carved signs, yard signs, mugs, artwork. I actually have not been here ever, but I have heard very good things about this place, and I've actually met the owner once or twice and said that I will be checking out his shop at some point in case there is an opportunity that I would need to, do something artistic. Let's see. Where do we want to go? We have a Jackson Hewitt. We have the Glow Spa Tanning and Fitness. Obviously, never been there. We have an old magazine shop. Luckily, I've never been in here. Don't think there's anything that I'd want here anyway, but this is also a bus stop. I'm not sure if it's still a bus stop. I haven't seen the bus come out here because of COVID. So over here we have the Trinity CASA, Council on Alcohol and Substance Abuse. Obviously I would never need that because I don't smoke anymore and I don't drink. Also over here on my left we have one of the more famous diners in the area, the Harris Diner. The owner is a gentleman named Sam. Very, very polite gentleman. I have been there several times. Normally, if it's a night, if it's a decent day and I happen to have the money, I go there for breakfast, and I've never been disappointed with the food. We have another studio called the Deluge, and then we have an Allstate agency. Might have to go there at some point, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Over here we have one of the Owego fire departments, which there are 5 of. This one was built in 1811. It was actually renovated, I believe in 2017. Didn't do much for the renovation because obviously it still looks older, but it is, yeah, it's a very beautiful building. Over here we have one of the smaller grocery stores, John's Fine Foods. I've been in there twice, but basically a little mom and pop convenience store. If you live over in this area and don't feel like walking all the way to the grocery store to get your groceries that you need. Over here we have the other Owego Fire Department, which is where they keep the bigger trucks. We have one of the many churches. Believe it or not, Owego has 9 churches in the village itself. Kind of crazy for a church, for a little village, but like I said, to each their own. Over to my left, you got the pump house that they're building for one of the historic fire trucks that's been used in the area. Over here on my right, you got a couple apartment buildings that are apparently still lived in. You have another small grocery store called the Community Shop. Been in here a few times. Not, you know, the best place to go for groceries. I mean, it's a quick, if you live in the area, or in this area anyway, and you know, you need groceries and obviously don't have a car. Let's see. On my right, we have another one of the local gas stations, the Morabito. Very nice place to go if you're close in the area and happen to need gas, or you know, you just are an early morning person. I believe they open at 6 or 7 a.m. and they have your normal convenience store stuff, pizza subs, drinks, all kinds of good stuff. Over here on my left is a recent barber shop that just came in the area, and we also have Ernesto's Diner and Restaurant, a very, very good establishment. I actually met the owner several years back when I used to work at Maine's, and their food is amazing. I never thought I would be a fan in food, but that place is amazing. Over here on the left, we have another little antique shop called Grandma's Cottage that is only open on Saturdays. The owners are an old elderly couple, and they can only do stuff, once a week. I've been in there a couple times. I have bought some stuff from there, and they are amazing. Let's see. We're going to show you guys over there in the distance. Yes, we have an old Video King. When the Video Kings all went out of business back in the early 2000s, this was one of the few that remained open, and unfortunately it closed before I moved here, and it did not, like all the other Video Kings, it has not seen any redevelopment yet, but hopefully they have it posted up for lease to hopefully get something in there, so that they can make it look fashionable. Also over on my left is one of the other local pizza places, Mario's. I'm not particularly a fan of their pizza, but the other things that they I actually haven't had anything other than their pizza. Maybe I should try that, but their pizza I'm not really a fan of. Over here on the corner we have one of the local laundromats. Not the greatest place to go wash your laundry. It is open 24 hours just like the other one that is uptown, but there's been a lot of problems with that particular laundromat. So over here on the other corner is another one of the local bars known as the Rainbow Trail, very close to my house, but I have not been there for the obvious reasons, because I don't drink, and I would rather not go to a place like that unless I wanted to do something other than drinking. Over here on my left we have Veolia, which is actually our local water place. So being as we are a village, living in the village, we actually there's a lot of places that you pay your own water, and I didn't know the importance of having to pay your own water until I moved to where I'm at. And paying your own water actually isn't that bad, because like most things, it's based on usage. And for me and my fiance and our water bill usually ranges anywhere from $25 to say about like $50 every month, which, believe it or not, that's not even that bad to have to pay for water. So I like it. I used to go there once a month to pay our water, but I recently found out that we just go on the online website when we have the money to pay it, and we just take care of it whenever we get the chance. Now, yes, I am walking back down the street just because I don't feel like going around to some of the more unpleasant neighborhoods in the village. Yes, we do have those. They are not, well, okay, I'm gonna be honest, I can't say they're not bad neighborhoods, but they are so also aren't good ones. Dilapidated houses, a lot of where the drug addicts live, and just not a very good area, to say the least. I mean, believe it or not, the area that I live in is pleasant, but a couple of the streets around me aren't the greatest. Actually, a couple of the streets around me recently had houses torn down because they were dilapidated, and most of them were actually places where drug dealers and not drug dealers, drug addicts and unpleasant people, we'll say, lived. Over here, now, this is really weird because this is the village of Owego, the court and the police office. Now, Owego, I don't know why, but in the village itself has 4 different courthouses. They have the Tioga County Court, they have the Village of Owego Court, and they also have the Town of Owego Court, and then they also have the court annex, which is for like other stuff that is outside of like local things in the area. As biased as it sounds, I'm not sure why it's necessary to have all 4 in the village. The other one is, like I said, is the Town of Owego court. That is outside of town. And then there's another one over by the house, which is I think the Public Works Department. But like I said, that's not sure why it's like that, but to each their own, I guess. Up on my left is the previously mentioned Chemung Canal Bank. When I first moved here, obviously I had to establish myself a bank account so that I could get my paychecks and obviously have access to my money. However, after a lengthy period of time, I realized that there was also a Visions outside of town, and I quickly reopened my Visions account and have since closed. Actually, I didn't close it. It needs to be closed, but I had to pay on it, which I don't know why. But I discontinued, we'll say, my Chemung Canal bank account. Over here, we have a fiber arts studio, which is for like yarn and weaving, which I probably should not bring my fiance to because she will want to buy everything that is here. We also have the old O'Hara's restaurant and pub. Unfortunately, this place is closed because the owner has since passed away. I believe it was back in 2022, and I never got the chance to go to it. Probably never would have because it's a pub, but it was also a restaurant too. I would have liked to at least go to it once before they closed, but not the case. Let's see what we got here. We've got a floodplain development permit on a reconstruction of a store, and not sure what they're doing with that. Maybe there is a new business or a store coming into the area. That would be pretty nice. Down there in the corner is the Tom Ash Agency Insurance. Been in there a couple times. Not the ideal place to go, but it's there if you need it, I guess. Oh, we have one of my favorite places in the village. This is the Early Owego Antique Center. at 4345 Lake Street. This place is exactly what you would think it is. It is an antique shop, and it was built in 2013, which means it was built 11 years ago. And it is amazing. It is 2 floors of vendors, giving out antique goods and services. And it's amazing. I love going in there. I've been in there so many times I can't even count. And it's just really good. In front of me here, we have the old Tioga Central Cafe. This building is actually in the process, as you can see by the boarded up area, but it is in the process of being renovated. They are planning on making a restaurant on the ground level, and then they are going to have luxury apartments up on the top, which I guess is a good thing, but I guess we'll also see how that goes. Down there in the distance, we actually have, walk down here because I'm actually going to go around the back. Over there, we have the VFW for, the veterans. Down here, we have the Tioga Theater. Yes, we have our own movie theater, kind of like Deposit, but the difference between our theater and the Deposit Theater is I've actually been to the State Theater twice. I have never been here to the Tioga Theater because I don't know when they are open. They don't have any posted times, and I would like to go here one time to see a movie, but as soon as I find out when they are actually open. This video is already an hour long. Up there in the distance, we see another church, and just beyond that is another favorite place of mine, the Coburn Free Library. That is our local library, and I have been there very, very many times, so much so that they know me by name, and they are just amazing people that work in there. As a matter of fact, if I get the chance tomorrow, I'm probably going to walk over to the library and get myself some books out. Over there, on the other side of that building, is actually a place known as the Three Apartments. Earlier, I mentioned that I had this thing for old places that used to be schools. The building that is sitting over there is one of those old schools that was turned into luxury apartments. I believe it is part senior housing, part local housing. Don't quote me on it though. Over here is another church. As I said, there are 9 churches in the village of Owego, so they must be a very churchy Owego must be a very churchy place. I personally don't go to church. I haven't gone to church in about 25 years. Just because it's not for me. Over here on my left, another recent business called The Spellbound. They have books, gifts, coffee, and food. And they are actually a very... I've been in there twice. They are a very nice place. They were supposed to be they were supposed to be opening a book club, but like I said, I don't really read, so I'd probably never go to that. Over there is on the other side of them is the New Hope Center, crisis intervention and stuff like that. Those people have actually helped me out quite a bit when I was dealing with the situation. Over here as I pointed out, we have AutoZone. Yes, we have an AutoZone in Broome County. I love, or in Owego. I love it. It's so weird because if you don't live here in Owego and you just come down here to visit, you find out there's things here that you don't expect in a small town, like a Price Chopper and an AutoZone and a movie theater. It's to say the least, it is pretty amazing. And like I said in the beginning of the video, I am proud to say that I am part of the 3,800 residents of Owego. As a matter of fact, yeah, I think, no, the census doesn't get done until 10 years. So we finally made it to my final stop in our tour of Owego, but we're gonna go back down to the end and then work our way down so that I can show you guys some of the stuff that's down here. The thing I like about Lake Street is the fact that Lake Street is a one-way. So I could basically stand here in the middle of the road, and unless somebody's coming down from the right, I don't have to worry about getting hit. I'm gonna show you guys some of the sites around here. Right here, we have our Owego post office. Obviously, post offices are very historic because they are history, and they, they are a significant need for the area. Over here, we have a place called Tender Loving Care by Maureen. I've been in this shop once. She does gifts, jewelry, and more. She does local shirts, and she also does, she does jewelry and stuff like that. A little smaller shop than usual. Kind of cramped space, but very beautiful. I do plan on going back in here. She is limited to her hours due to family health reasons, so that's probably why she hasn't been open. I'm actually gonna walk back down this way real quick because I do want to show you guys the River Road bookstore. We actually aren't gonna go in there, but it's basically your regular bookstore, and for the longest time people thought that bookstores were obsolete. They are not. This bookstore is very old. It actually does have 2 floors upstairs and a basement full of books, and believe it or not, for a bookstore, this place does get a lot of business. Mostly they get looky-loos, people that just come to the area and look, but they don't buy. But they spread the word, and they get people to come through and pretty much do business. Over here we have the Agua paint and floor covering. One of the many shops that I can positively say that I have never been to. However, when I do get to the point of owning my own house, I will make sure that this place is on my to-do list. They are basically what their name says. They do carpeting and paints, and they also do shading and stuff like that for outdoor, indoor, and all sorts of other stuff. This is actually all their carpeting and flooring. They don't do they do, like I said, they do carpeting, but they also do like tiles and ceramic, linoleum, and stuff like that. So, like I said, when I get to the point where I own my own house, giving these guys a stop and just checking them out. Here we have another local, I guess I didn't know there wasn't a step there. I guess you could call it a local diner, known as the Owego Kitchen. I have actually ate here twice, I think. They are open 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday, and their food is amazing. They do hot drinks, they do breakfast, they do lunch. Because of the fact that they are only open till 2 o'clock, they do not do dinner. However, they have very special events. They were established in 2015, 2 years after the Antique Center. They do have special events where they do open their kitchen, ironic, for the later day privileges. They've actually had a couple where they I never noticed that alley, but apparently there's a restaurant down there. Actually, I think I knew about the alley, but never been there. There's a restaurant down there called Back Alley Pig, but they've opened their restaurant up for dinner times between like 3 to 8 and 4 to 8. Over here we have a place called Bullseye Beauty, licensed esthetician, or however the hell you say that. They do advanced skincare, beauty enhancement, professional makeup. As far as I know, this place is not open yet. They have been renovating this place for about a year now, and I'm waiting for it to open so that I could possibly check it out. They also have another little store here called Casey's Cabinets. That is basically what it says. Down here we have another new establishment called the Lucky Hair Brewing, and it is basically what you think it would be. It is a bar, it is a small restaurant, and it is a basically a get-together. They got their food menu. They got munchies, sandwiches, stuff like that. They do live entertainment. In the back they got their sports area, and they've also got a trivia night, Brewers Fest. They got open mics every Monday, which is actually pretty cool. Apparently they're hiring for a part-time bartender, which if I ever decide to get into the bar business, that'd be something to check out. Over here we have a place that I am quite familiar with only because I've been to the one in Syracuse. This is the Laughing Place, and it is pretty much a toy store. Now, even though I call it a toy store, it is pretty much a it's a variety of toy stores. You can find old toys here, you can find newer toys here. They got stuffed animals, they got books, they have toys. Their hours are open Monday through Saturday. Unfortunately, they are closed tomorrow. Not sure why they're closed tomorrow, but to its own, I guess. But yeah, definitely a place like I said, I'm familiar with because of the fact that I have been to the one in Syracuse on a couple occasions. Over here we have another favorite place of mine, the Owego Original Italian. which is the better of the two pizza places in the area. But they also have, they're an Italian restaurant, so they do pizza, pasta, stuff like that. They also have a bar and lounge and dining areas for your convenience. Over there, we have another one of the local barbershops, Andy and Sons. Andy and his son Pat are very, very good at their jobs. Andy has actually done my hair quite a few times, and I have never been disappointed. Over here, we have the new location of the Confection Connection. Try saying that 3 times fast. They are basically a pastry joint. They do the normal, pastry type stuff. Cookies, cupcakes, coffee espresso, cappuccino, jellies, Easter candy, stuff like that. Just everything good that you would, pretty much want from a store. And speaking of candy stores, we actually have another place that I am very fond of. Earlier in the video, I mentioned Fuddy Duddies, and this is their current location. Obviously, they are closed on Sundays, but they do cookies, they do old sodas, they do jellies, they do candy, they do pastries, they pretty much do everything. I will say that I love going into that store because it smells good every time I go in there. As I mentioned earlier, they are moving hopefully sometime this year into a bigger location, and will also incorporate outdoor seating, and I believe they are going to open a restaurant indoors. So like I said, I'm hoping that happens very soon. They have a store here called The Camera's Eye, pretty much an art studio. Not sure if I'd ever need that place. Coughlin and Gerhardt, an attorney, which I don't think I'd ever need that place either. Down here they have the Van Horn Jewelers. Now, Van Horn, I've never been to. I'm not much of a jewelry guy, but I have, glimpsed at their store quite a few times, and they are very, very much respected for their business. Over here, we have a place called Local Utopia, which is another small gift shop. I've been in here quite a few times. I think the last time I was in here, I actually finally bought something. They do like crafts, gifts, boutiques, stuff like that. Definitely not a bad place. Like I said, I've been in there quite a few times, and I have never been disappointed. Over here we have a place called Entrust Wealth Management, another financial advisor. We have another place up here called the Lost Memories Antiques and Vintage. Believe it or not, this store used to be the old location of another store that we're actually going to get to in a couple minutes. It doesn't look like there's anything in here, to be perfectly honest with you, but that could change in the future. Over there they have a place called Leonardo's Wine and Bar. Actually, I am wrong, because the old place that I was talking about was actually here. And now that I look at it, I don't remember it being that long, but I do remember it being that small. And that actually explains why they moved. Over there, we have a hair design. We have a bridal store, tuxedo rental, a beauty company. Another favorite place of mine, Gallery 41. I love paintings. And if I ever become rich, this will be one of the places that I come to buy all my paintings and hanging decorations, because they have them. And definitely relatively very well priced, and definitely worth my my well spent money. Second to last but not least, the previous business that I mentioned a couple minutes ago was known as Mystic Moon, and when they were in that smaller space over there, it was very cramped. I am very proud to say that this last summer they moved over here to this location. They are actually closed today, but they basically sell wind chimes, candles, necklaces, jewelry, all kinds of really good stuff. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you guys. One of the first things that I bought when I moved down here was actually this sunstone when they were in their original location, and it only cost me $10, which is not bad at all for a necklace, especially with it being a sunstone. I have been in here quite a few times. I brought my fiance in here quite a few times. She loves it because of all the stuff that they have. This place actually has a bit of history to me, because it is the former location of the Hemp Geek that used to be in Owego. And I find it very ironic that when this was the Hemp Geek, I actually had an old friend who I'm no longer friends with, but she actually told me that New York State was getting ready to legalize marijuana, and when they did that was going to be one of the first places to get a weed license. Unfortunately, 2 weeks before the legalization of marijuana went into effect in New York State, they went out of business. I'm pretty sure it had something to do with the dad, who was the owner and also a friend of mine. He was dealing with some health issues, so I'm pretty sure they closed the store. And I'm kind of disappointed because, unfortunately, Owego does not... Well, Owego does have places where you can buy weed legally, but I don't think there's any in the village. So the last place I want to show you... Let me stop trying to... change my stuff, but last place I want to show you guys is I want to show you guys the inside the windows of the early Owego Antique Center. As I said, it is pretty much exactly what the name says. It is 96 vendors, which are these little cubicles here that you see. People bring in stuff that they find all the time, put a price tag on them, and hope that they sell. This place has 2 floors, top and bottom, and as I mentioned earlier when I walked by, I don't think I mentioned it actually, but this is the former J.J. Newberry Company, which I believe used to be a jewelry making company. And once the company went out of business, I'm pretty sure the building sat vacant for quite a few years. And then in 2013, they made the choice to renovate the place and turn it into the early Owego Antique Center. You guys take a look inside. They actually just closed at 5 o'clock. They pretty much, you know, it's a nice place to come and shop. And if you like spending money, it's a good place to go, just because, you know, you never know what you're gonna find in here. And it's pretty much, like I said, I love coming here because I never know what I'm gonna find, and it's very, very special to me. So that is all that I have for you guys today. I'd like to thank you for coming through this tour of Owego with me, and I cannot wait to do next week's video, and stay tuned for the next one.